The 80s gave us some of the best comedies ever, but not every movie hit the jackpot. Some bombed so hard, even the stars tried to forget them. Some got bad timing, and some were just plain bad. Today, I'm digging up a bunch of forgotten 80s comedies. Early Tom Hanks, pre-Iron Man Robert Downey Jr., and even a body swap movie with Fred Savage that either deserved better or, well, didn't. You've probably never heard of most of these, but trust me, they're worth a look. Let's get into it. This one's got Tom Hanks, early in his career, playing a regular guy, a violinist named Richard Drew, who gets caught up in a CIA mess he has no clue about. Basically, there's a power struggle going on inside the CIA. Dabney Coleman's character is trying to take over, and Charles Durning's character sets up a random civilian as a decoy to mess with him. That random guy? Hanks, who thanks to a prank from his buddy is walking through the airport with one regular shoe and one bright red sneaker. Right place, wrong footwear, terrible timing. From there, it's a mix of spy games and comedy. You've got Carrie Fisher and Laurie Singer both tangled up in Hanks's mess. There's phone tapping, chases, romance, the usual spy comedy stuff. It should have been a hit. The cast is stacked, and it's genuinely fun, but it totally flopped. Some people blamed the studio for not marketing it enough. Others said the movie just didn't translate well from the original French version. Either way, it came and went fast. But if you're a Tom Hanks fan, it's worth checking out just to see one of his early comedy roles before he became a huge star. This is one of the earliest movies with Robert Downey Jr., way back before Iron Man and even back before the comeback. The story follows Johnny Walker, played by Anthony Michael Hall, who's supposed to be this hotshot football recruit. Problem is, he's scrawny and doesn't exactly look like a football star. Still, every college wants him, and he's got to pick between the big offers or staying local with his girlfriend and giving up the dream. It's got all the classic 80s teen movie stuff. Football culture, slapstick humor, dumb jock stereotypes. It's not bad, but it's super cookie cutter. Nothing really makes it stand out from all the other teen comedies that were coming out at the time. There's some charm to it. It's light, it's fun. But there's a reason no one really talks about Johnny Be Good anymore. Tom Selleck plays Phil Blackwood, a mystery novelist who's totally stuck. He's got no new ideas, so he starts hanging out at court trials looking for inspiration. That's when he sees Nina, a mysterious Romanian woman on trial for murder. Phil's so smitten he makes up an alibi for her, gets her released, and then has to let her move in with him. He's not even sure she's innocent. But hey, she's hot, so here we are. Critics trashed her Alibi when it came out. But honestly, it's pretty funny. The movie knows it's ridiculous and just leans into it. You've got Phil narrating everything like it's one of his cheesy detective novels, total over-the-top macho stuff, while his friends keep dropping in with snarky comments about the fact that he's living with a possibly murderous, knife-throwing house guest. Plus, Selleck's physical comedy is way better than people give him credit for. It's goofy, it's dumb, but it's fun. Anthony Edwards, the guy from Top Gun and ER, plays Jonathan, a UCLA vet student who's really good at this campus-wide paintball game called Gotcha. But when it comes to dating, not so much. So he heads off to Europe with his buddy Manolo to, fix that situation. In Paris, he meets Sasha, older, mysterious, played by Linda Fiorentino. They hit it off, but then things get weird. She bails, leaves him a mysterious package, and suddenly, Jonathan's caught between the CIA and the KGB, getting chased all over Berlin. The movie sounds cool. It's got paintball, spies, romance, and a catchy synth-pop soundtrack. But it's kind of a mess. There's just too much going on, and it's not really clear what kind of movie it's trying to be. Fiorentino's great. She pretty much carries every scene she's in, and Edwards has a few solid one-liners, but the story just never really clicks. Most people remember the soundtrack way more than anything that actually happens in the movie. It had potential, but Gotcha kinda shot itself in the foot. This one's an Australian coming-of-age comedy about two teenage girls from the suburbs of Sydney trying to break into the local surfer crowd, basically the Green Hill gang of laid-back surfer bros. It's got a lot of the usual teen comedy stuff, sneaking out, chasing popularity, bad decisions, but it also dives into way heavier territory. There's stuff about the brutal way girls were treated, the messed up sexual politics, even hard drug use. It's still funny and has a feel-good vibe in places, especially around the friendship between the two girls, but it's not just light and fluffy, and that probably hurt it with audiences back then. Plus, it didn't exactly get a huge international release, being an Australian film and all. Today, it actually holds up way better than a lot of 80s teen comedies. But back then, it got lost in the shuffle. This one stars Ali Sheedy, who was fresh off her Brat Pack fame, playing Jessie Montgomery, a rich, spoiled party girl who doesn't really care about anything. After one bad night, her dad, who's had enough, basically wishes she didn't exist, right as a star falls from the sky. Next thing you know, Jessie wakes up and finds out her whole life is gone. No more money, no more house, no one even knows who she is. She gets bailed out of jail by a chain-smoking fairy godmother, played by Beverly D'Angelo, who tells her what's going on. And yeah, Jessie doesn't believe her at first, but reality catches up fast. It's basically a Cinderella story flipped on its head. Jessie goes from living the good life to scrubbing floors. Sheedy leans into the role too. She's funny and actually makes you root for her, even though Jessie starts out pretty unlikable. Beverly D'Angelo's great as the rough-around-the-edges fairy godmother, and Tom Skerritt plays the detached dad pretty perfectly. Made to Order wasn't trying to compete with the bigger comedies from '87 like Overboard or The Witches of Eastwick. It's a smaller movie, but that's part of what makes it work. It's a little more grounded, less flashy, and honestly kind of underrated. This is a body swap comedy, and honestly, one of the better ones from the '80s. It's about a vice president of a department store who ends up swapping bodies with his 11-year-old son because of some magical skull. So now the kid is running around in his dad's body trying to fake his way through business meetings, and the dad's stuck in a middle schooler's body trying to survive school. Judge Reinhold plays the dad, and Fred Savage plays the kid. And honestly, Fred Savage steals the movie. He's hilarious as a ruthless little businessman trapped in a kid's body. Reinhold's funny too, playing the confused adult-turned-kid, but Savage really sells it. It's pure 80s. No big messages, no deep meaning. Just a fun, dumb comedy that works because the cast completely goes for it. Vice Versa didn't really blow up at the box office, but it's a great time capsule of what 80s comedies were all about. And honestly, if you're into body swap movies, this one deserves way more love. You've got Richard Pryor playing Monty Brewster, a minor league pitcher who suddenly finds out he's got a shot at a massive inheritance, $300 million. But there's a catch. He has to spend $30 million in 30 days, and he's not allowed to tell anybody why or get help. If he pulls it off, he gets the full fortune. If not, he gets nothing. On paper, it sounds amazing. Richard Pryor and John Candy together in an 80s comedy? Total slam dunk, right? But the thing is, the movie doesn't really deliver. The script just kind of wanders. Brewster's crazy spending spree is fun for a while, but it gets old fast, and the whole romance subplot feels half-baked. There are a few good moments, because come on, it's Richard Pryor, but overall, the movie ends up feeling like a missed opportunity. This is way before Scary Movie and all those big parody hits came around. Student bodies took aim at slasher movies, the 70s and 80s stuff like Halloween and Friday the 13th, and just made fun of all the cliches. The killer's called The Breather, and instead of knives or chainsaws, he uses stuff like paper clips, blackboard erasers, and even eggplants to do the murders. It's ridiculous. On purpose. Back in the early 80s, parody movies weren't really a thing yet. They wouldn't get super popular until the 90s, so Student Bodies was kind of ahead of its time. Even now, the jokes still land if you know slasher movies. It's silly, it's absurd, and that's exactly what makes it work. If you're into horror and you want to see a movie that roasts all the old-school tropes, this one's a fun watch. Here, Sally Field plays Kay, a widow who's finally trying to move on after her husband Jolly, played by James Caan, dies by falling down the stairs. She falls in love with a serious Egyptologist, played by Jeff Bridges. But Jolly's not done. He comes back as a ghost, and not a scary one, more like an annoying, dancing ghost who's dead set on ruining her new relationship. Only Kay can see him, which leads to a bunch of awkward, hilarious public conversations, especially one scene at an inn that's pretty great. The thing is, the movie gets a few laughs, but that's mostly thanks to Sally Field and James Caan. The writing isn't great, the chemistry's a little off. Fun fact, this movie was part of why James Caan basically quit acting for a while. After The Godfather and before Misery, he took a break, and Kiss Me Goodbye was right there in the middle of it. It's not a classic, but watching Field and Caan do their thing is still pretty entertaining.